Welcome to Deeply Well, a soft place to land in your journey. A podcast for those that are curious, creative, and ready to expand in higher consciousness and self-care. This right here, this is where we heal. This is where we transcend. Welcome back to the show. I'm Devi Brown. This is Deeply Well. Y'all, so much life has been happening. I'm going to settle into this solo episode and give you some thoughts and feelings, share some good information, things I'm excited about, and things I think that you'll really, really want to connect to. So first things first, a little housekeeping. If you have gotten my book, Living in Wisdom, would you please consider going to wherever you bought the book? Maybe it's Amazon or Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Audible, and leave a review. If you would leave a review and if you have time to share a few thoughts from the book, I think I'm really finding that does, especially for avid readers, really help people decide and understand and feel connected to what they may read. And it's definitely an ask of authors. So I would love to extend that ask to you. If you have bought Living in Wisdom, if it's been meaningful for you, if you enjoyed it, if you threw it across the room a couple times and then fell in love with it, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review if you feel that's what it deserves, and also a written review. I'd really, really appreciate it. It definitely helps authors, and consider that for other books that have been meaningful to you recently as well. Definitely, heart-filling and helps people know what they're walking into. All right, so life lately is September. Well, I don't know. I think, you're hearing this episode in September. So I've been in the thick of back to school. My son is 7. Oh my gosh. He is 7. He is in 2nd grade. I am so in love with this part of my life. My son's my world. That's clear. There is something about this age and the things that we're getting to talk about and the way we're getting to spend time together that's just so incredible for me. I am loving my domestic life. I am such a house tender naturally. Let me give you all a little insight into my personality. It's many, many things. But I love, since I was a little girl, I've been obsessed with interior design and just moving things. I literally was 6 trying to push my bed across the room to change it up, to feel new energy. And when I started working at 16, I was working 2 jobs. And so with some of the money that I made, I literally used to go to the Home Depot and I would buy paint and I would buy, blinds, and I'd go other places and get fabric and turn it into curtains, and definitely be hitting up the Ross and get some decor. And so that's always been a core part of me. How does the space around me make me feel? How does it nourish me? And that is definitely true in adulthood. I find so many ways to make love to my house. I am just always up in it. I am finding little things to do, little projects, and it just feels so special. And I was hanging up some of my son's art recently, and I just felt so lucky and grateful that I could do that. I've really been sinking into how it feels, even as a child, we moved around so much. We moved so much, so many different parts of LA and greater LA. And I realized that I've been in my house now that I'm in for almost 9 years, 8.5 years. And my son has been here. He's 7. He's been here his whole life. I was here the whole time I was pregnant. And I realized, I was wow, I think this is the longest I've been in one place ever. And that just felt so cool, to see the patina that starts to take hold in your house, the places where there are stains, or in my case, actual full-size handprints on the wall made of syrup. And where I've just been able to mark off his height at different ages, and I'm just loving this age of me. I'm loving his age. I'm loving this time of my life. I love that I feel like as a family, he and I, we have like such a real system going with our lives and with each other. And yeah, it was just really sweet. Yesterday, I got to pick him up from school, and I don't always get to do that. I take him to school every day, but I'm not usually the one who picks up. And so I got to pick him up, and second grade is different, y'all, because there is a ton of homework. Like, I mean, it's crazy. He got phonics, he got math, he got reading, he got writing and comprehension. And that's just a lot on a little brain and a little life. And to see, at what age this perfectionism desire starts, or when we start getting frustrated with ourselves and how we talk to ourselves, and just to be a part of this part of his journey, knowing that with a gentleness, because I want him to have his own process, but with a gentleness, I can be a positive influence, always being able to shape his inner world, his inner confidence, his self-esteem, the ways that he feels worthy. Like, it's just such an honor and a pleasure to do that for your child. Like, oh my God. So it took us like 2 hours to get through all the homework. Cause if you have a little one, and I know I certainly was like this, they might be getting up from the table and like arguing with you about it, or crying about it, or just wanting to move their bodies, or getting distracted. And yesterday I really had the time and the space and the emotional regulation to just be so present with all of it. So I felt like I was experiencing myself outside of myself, like watching the both of us be mother and son. And it was just, it was one of the most simple, ordinary, mundane nights. And like last night was really one of the best days of my life. Like, it was one of the best moments I've ever had with my son, just helping him with homework and helping him be patient. And by the time he went to sleep, like, we were talking before bed, and I like laid down with him and was like lounging. And he just like rolled over, and I could see like the happiness on his face through like the darkness of the room. And he just kept giving me like 100 kisses on the cheek. Like, just, it was so urgent for him and like so strong. And he grabbed my whole head and face and like just clutched it to give me these kisses. And then like just went, and then rolled back over and like laid down. And I just sat there like smiling to myself, like, wow, wow, wow. Oh my God, that was so special. So those are like, parenting is hard. It's a lot of things. And especially if you've been through things, it's a lot of things. But those simple, beautiful moments, not the buying toys, not the going to the big this or the movie but like those little tiny moments, like helping someone with their frustration as they're learning how to learn, and then being rewarded with like kisses. Like, I'm just like, that's what it is. That's what it's about. That is the core memory. That is, I think sometimes as parents, and I'm not sure if everyone else feels this way listening, but I've often felt, or you see really, not even that I've felt, to be quite honest, what I've seen is that it's like the big stuff, right? Like, it's Christmas, it's, the big trips or the surprises or the ice cream or the, all the happiness. But like in this season of my journey with my son, it's been so special because we've been working through hard things like homework, like disagreements with friends, like, what was the other thing that we were doing? We had a moment where he, felt that he had done something wrong, and he came to tell me the truth about it, and like holding space for that, and still reflecting back to him that like, okay, well, we definitely have to deal with this, and like, you're still worthy. My love for you is never in question. my like for you is never in question. And like, I still trust you. I still think you're a good boy, a good person. And just watching like such a private smile emerge on his face for having that mirroring of love and that deeper enforcement of how permanent my love is for him. It was just special. It was special to give it. It was special to see it. It was special to be it. So I'm savoring that deeply. That is what I'm savoring in my life right now. I feel so grateful that I have the opportunity to really participate in his school, in the lives of his friends and their families. And it's just special, and it's rare, at least to me. It's not something I'm used to or had the chance to experience, because my mom worked so hard and that was the only option, and to be able to have both right now. Like, I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. She's been traveling. She's been working. But to have that, it's an honor. It's special. It is so special to be able to really see your child for who they are and give them what they need based on that, not just my ideas and desires for him, not just, my thoughts of what I didn't have or whatever. No, what does he want and need in his unique life that is his own? I'm loving that. I've been reflecting about that a lot lately. So I might have more things in that vein coming. So I've been savoring that. I've been savoring just kind of some house projects. So the studio that you're looking at right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, it's going to look a little different. I'm actually like full on creating a space. So there's painting going on, there's building going on, there's all kinds of things happening. There's a lot of movement towards future foundations right now. And that's felt really good. So some places I've been, some things I've been thinking, we've been doing it with back to school. Summer is over. I don't know if I ever got a chance to share with you all about my trip to Martha's Vineyard this year. Just one of the most special places I've ever been on earth. Yes. And I just really recommend, like, if you've ever heard of Martha's Vineyard and thought it wasn't for you, or that you couldn't really see yourself there, or, it didn't look like your thing, I really challenge you to take a risk and book a trip. I used to think that. I didn't know much about it. I'm from LA, but it's on the East Coast. But I was like, I don't know, like an East Coast coastal town. Y'all don't even be getting in the water over there. I don't know. And I went, and I've gone back, and the beauty that's present there, the safety that's present there, like, there's no crime. You're on this island with no crime and all beautiful things. And, people were saying that everyone keeps their doors unlocked, and, just you walk around, the kids run free. It's magnificent. It's like nothing I've ever felt or known. And I'm really excited because my plan is, I've gone the last 2 years for both work and pleasure, but usually in and out. Next year, I'm taking my kid. Me and my baby boy are going. We are riding bikes. We are doing the polar bear plunge. We are taking long walks in Oaks Bluff and eating fudge and ice cream. And we're doing it. And I can't wait. So now more than ever, I think it's really special and important to remind ourselves what the feeling of wholesomeness is, what the feeling of safety and simplicity and beauty feel like. Because you're not really doing nothing. You're just walking around all day looking at flowers and truly eating ice cream and, just being. But we need that, and we deserve that. And we deserve to feel really safe when we're out, especially when we're with our littles. So that was magnificent. That was a big part of my summer. That meant a lot to me. I had a chance to go to the US Open recently in New York. Huge thank you to my friends at Chase. That was so fun. I went with my girlfriend, Nina Parker, who just killed it at New York Fashion Week. She is phenomenal. We have been friends for nearly 20 years, my Lord. Yeah, wow. And she's actually on an OG episode of my very first season of this podcast when it was called Dropping Gems. So if you ever want to dig all the way back, I think that episode is like maybe 6 years ago. We talk a lot about our early journey and all of, the work that she's done. And she's just doing tremendous, amazing, very rare and special things. Her line, the Nina Parker collection that just debuted at New York Fashion Week. Of course, it's in all Macy's. New season of clothes will be out soon. Looks amazing. Hosting television shows and yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful woman. So she and I went to the Open. We had a blast. I was telling a friend a minute ago, like, I'm not a poser, like in terms of like, I just want to be like my silly self in pictures. Like I do not be posing. I don't be practicing. I really should. Honestly, I need to grow up and like get into this day and age. But I just like to have a big smile and look like myself in photos. But she's like a professional. So she kept being like poking me in the back, like stand up straight. I'm like, okay, put that out. Head this way, face. And it was just, I was like, man, I am a hot mess. I need so much practice. But it's great being with friends, especially in other cities. Me and another girlfriend, one of my best friends, April, we do that all the time. Like we both live in LA, but if we have like a free day, we'll be like San Francisco, go to a museum, or, like pop up here, have food, drive here, do this. Like just really, I think, pushing ourselves to live, and again, not in these like insanely big, grand, Instagrammable ways, but just private smiles for us that feel special. I loved, again, so Martha's Vineyard, I loved being with leading women define. I cannot speak enough about how phenomenal this huge group of women is and all that they bring to the world, but definitely all that they bring to me, the ways I feel supported when I do this beautiful work of wellness with them. I loved heading out when I was in New York and supporting my girl, Sloane Stevens, of course, the tennis beautiful champion. She's stunningly gorgeous. She has a really amazing foundation called the Sloane Stevens Foundation, and they are doing phenomenal work for the youth. They work specifically in the city of Compton here in the LA area. And I had a chance to visit the brand new Compton High School where her program is. And I mean, they were teaching kids to swim that hadn't been in the water before, in a pool, at the beach. They're teaching tennis, like reading, and she's a young woman. I'm just blown away. I'm blown away by her and her mother, her and her whole team, Casey. Just the things that they are doing for young people in this city is so inspiring. And she also recently launched a body care line. And so when I was in New York, I went to check out that launch and I led a meditation there. And I had a chance to actually, when I led the meditation, we did it on this rooftop in New York. So it was kind of cool because it was chaos and peace at the same time. And when I teach in person, I actually love that. I love when noise enters the room because that's life. So we have to find a way to bend our ear and bend kind of our nervous system into a different place when something disruptive is present. And so we were on that rooftop in New York. You're hearing horns, you're hearing all the things, and we're still settling into peace. And while I was there, I just ran into so many amazing women. I ran into a friend, a beautiful young woman who was at one of my retreats with Queen Afua a couple years ago at Women Who Heal. Shout out to all the women who heal. And she was there and we got to catch up on life, and I hear about her world and all that she's doing and how she's feeling since that retreat. And it just filled me up. I'm such an in-person person, y'all. I got to figure out a way how to enjoy social media so I can interact more. It's so hard for me. But I'm really an in-person person. Like, I just love talking in person. I love teaching in person. I love workshops. I love being in front of someone. And it's like, oh my God, like everything I can't do in a DM or in a comment, like if we're in person, oh my God, I just love to know people. I love to feel the energy. I love to share and hear and feel and do. And so it's the best when I run into people that listen to this podcast in real life or have been to a retreat, and then I see them again, like just, it fills my soul. I had the chance recently to have dinner at the mayor's house, the mayor of LA, Karen Bass. Big shout out to my girlfriend, Mia Wright, who is doing, I didn't even know how much good work she was doing in this city. And that's something I'm really aspiring to right now. I used to do a lot of community activism and community action work here in LA, especially in my younger years at the start of my career. Back when I was in radio, the first station I worked at as an on-air personality, I was 23. When I was taking these positions, but I had been there, but I was 23 and I was juggling for pretty much no money so many important positions. I was the music director of the station, the youngest woman in the country, but whatevs. I was an on-air talent, and I took over being the director of community actions. It was a lot of work and it was hard. The city needs a lot. But it was like the best time of my life, like being able to work with different offices within the city government and help bring different projects to life for young people. I had a community show that aired on Sundays, and I've had like the chief of police on it. I've worked with the mayor's office. I've had different community figures. And that is like my deepest passion. That is like the PBS kid in me meets the then LA radio hip hop personality. But so I've been in prayer with God for the last couple of years, like how can I serve this city and how can I serve children? I don't know if they're going to be combined or if these are separate asks, but those are like the callings of my heart. And so it was just very synchronistic when my girl invited me. She brought together an awesome group of people who are based in LA to talk about the city with the mayor. And the mayor's been under a lot of scrutiny since the fires here in LA. And a lot of it is just quite unfair and quite unfounded. And I got to learn a lot of the background and the behind the scenes and a lot about policy creation and what policies were ended that led us to be in this moment in time that we're in LA, which is a moment that has mental health crisis. We have an unhoused crisis, so much crime. It's wild. It's wild, the things going on. And I got to talk to her personally about something that had happened recently. Where I live, on the very, very end of the long street that I live on, a couple, my neighbors, were murdered in their home. Happened last month. The details that have come out is that it was a mentally ill man who was walking. He was walking down my street, and he chose that house for a reason I have no idea, and climbed the fence, somehow got into the house, stayed in the house. The couple came home around 5-6 p.m., as you do at the end of the day, and he ended their lives. He was found immediately because he just walked out and then walked home, just walked on the streets, just walked home after that. And eventually the very soon, same day, the police found him a few miles away. That's a lot. That's part of why I feel a little more inside, I think, this summer, why I've really been clinging to safety and wholeness and wholesomeness and beauty and savoring the innocence that's present in my life, because so much isn't. So at that dinner, I got to really have what I felt was a very meaningful, powerful conversation with the mayor about mental health in this city, about crime in my neighborhood and area. And I felt so well treated by her and so informed by her. I felt very heard by her, and I felt really grateful for that. So I don't know what's to come, but I definitely feel very galvanized. I feel a spark reignited and really shining brightly inside of myself to deeply root and help and serve my community. And yeah, we'll see how that takes form. We'll see how that takes shape. I also had this cool opportunity. I did a lot of stuff this month, which this is not always the case. I had a chance to go to New York for the kickoff of New York Fashion Week. And I did this experience with this brand that I have come to love so much. Oh my gosh, it's like really helping my skin. This incredible, incredible skincare brand that I'm in partnership with called Allies of Skin. I really don't say this kind of thing about products or stuff, but it's like life-changing skincare. Like it is, I have very vain needs, like anti-aging, right? But this kind of skincare, I'm watching and I've been seeing videos on TikTok that they're using these products, and people who have had really severe burns or have been disfigured are, able to heal their faces in like really miraculous ways. So I'm just really inspired by it. I'm so inspired by like intentional like innovation, like the hard stuff, and their founder, Nicholas Travis, his story is so mind-blowing and so inspiring. And I'm like, it's really what I've needed in this season, that I've really been asking God a lot. How do you want me to serve now? Who am I supposed to serve right now? Who and how? Who and how? Who and how? Who and how? And when? That's what I've been asking. And I think having this opportunity in the last few weeks to be inspired by a lifelong community leader, servant leader in Karen Bass, and then to be inspired by Nick and where his life's journey has taken him and how that led him to create this brand, Allies of Skin. And I'm just like, it's the fire I've needed. Like I needed to be inspired in this way by people who are really like doing a lot for people in a way that's like touching their center and core. So it's been nice to feel so inspired and creative and innovative. So it's been a lot moving the last month, a lot of things, but my main thing has been really sinking in as much as I can to the present moment and the creation of exactly what's in front of me now, which is my son, which is my home, and which is my own heart. So I have 3 amazing things that I'd love to share. If it's in your area, I really hope to see you in the LA area at the end of this month on September 30th. I'm going to be having what I know is going to be a transcendent conversation with one of my favorite human beings that has ever lived. Shaka Senghor. He is a friend of the show. We have an amazing episode from 2 seasons ago that we've recorded. Please look for it. He has an amazing new book out called How to Be Free. His story, his life, his mastery, his teaching is profound. He's an incredible person and an amazing writer. So his new book, How to Be Free, is out, and he and I will be in conversation and in community at Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen, the Sloane location, Tuesday, September 30th. It's a conversation on freedom, on personal transformation and healing and community. So if you'd like to go to that in the LA area, Shaka Senghor and myself at Hilltop, link in my bio on Instagram can get you to tickets, and also my website. So at Devi Brown or devibrown.com. Also, if you are in Greenville, South Carolina, in that area, I am going to be at the church of 2 of my very dear friends, John and Aventer Gray, Love Story Church, for the Relish conference. My sis Aventer, she has put together this beautiful women's conference. Again, it's in South Carolina, Greenville, Love Story Church. And I will be there to speak and to be in community. I'll be there all day. I hope to be filled. I hope to pour. There's going to be a lot of dynamic sessions. There's going to be intimate prayer circles, fellowship. This is really just about empowering our hearts, especially in a time like this, and an opportunity to deepen our faith and to be in community with other people who love deeply, who lead in love with compassion and are looking to build and to deepen their relationship with God. So that's where I'll be in October 2nd through 5th. Link again in my bio and on the website. And then if you are in the New York area, I'll be at my brother, Charlemagne the God's Mental Wealth Expo. I believe this is the 5th annual Mental Wealth Expo. It gets bigger every year. It is, and by bigger, I mean like the community. I'm so excited. This year, it's at an arena. It's going to be taking place in New Jersey, Saturday, October 11th. It's a full half day, so 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's going to be panels. We're going to have panels on emotional regulation. We're going to have conversations there on religious trauma. I'm curating 2 panels. Danae Logan will be there. Teddy Reeves will be there. Manoj Dias will be there. There's so many amazing teachers and truly embodied practitioners in this work that are going to be there, and there will also be breakout sessions. So there's also going to be discussions, panels, resources to connect you to mental health services, self-care, and well-being. This is really, really in service to the communities of New York, of New Jersey, of all of those close surrounding areas. So excited to be there and to do that again. I'm on the board of the Mental Wealth Expo, and the work that Charlemagne is doing and that he's committed to, the amount of money they've been able to move to help people, it's just, again, really inspiring. Excited to be a part of that, and would love to be in community there with you as well. So all of those things, you can link to the bio. If you can attend, LA, South Carolina, and New York will be, New Jersey will be my next few areas I'll be hitting in the coming weeks. So I'm excited to connect. I'm also excited to just love and to share. Yeah. All right. Soul work for this episode, y'all. I've shared on this episode, and I've shared maybe in a couple episodes recently, that my question of this moment, what I'm in prayer with, what I'm talking to God about, what I'm searching my heart and my life for is, God, how do you want me to serve now? Who do you want me to serve now? What do you want me to do now? I would love for every person to spend some time doing soul work, either asking that question if it feels resonant, or finding your question. What is your question of the moment? What is this exact moment bringing forward for you to inquire about? We're all on the verge of something else. No one is finished right now. We're all on the verge of becoming something else right now in this moment. Just like I asked this question at the top of 2020, who are you being called to become? I really sit with that question now. Who are each of us being called to become right now? But it doesn't mean that you have to be something else because what you are now isn't enough. Now it's an inquiry of like, how am I going to be used? Who am I becoming for how I need to be used? What am I called to do? How am I called to serve right now? So if any of those questions feel resonant to fit within your life and your process right now, use one of those. If there is another natural question that is arising, like it's coming to the surface, it's clear for you, trust that one and ask yourself that question. You can try to spend some time journaling to it if that feels resonant, but I'd also say some of these questions we're waiting to receive the answer. So there might not be much to write about. So consider in meditation or just in a heartfelt prayer, closing your eyes, taking some deep breaths, asking those questions loud and silently, and then giving it the space to arise and trusting that it will in the coming days, weeks, months, years. All right. Thank you for joining another episode of Deeply Well. Share it with a friend. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you like to listen to it. And so much big love, gratitude. Thank you. Namaste.